Alright, a short introduction for this film. This film is about 6 elite military members of the Annex security team who fought to protect a U.S. ambassador in the American diplomatic compound in Benghazi, Libya. This event occurred on September 11, 2012. As you can see, Benghazi is on the northern tip of Libya. According to the movie, in 2012, the United States had a diplomatic outpost in Benghazi and Tripoli, Libya, and both were classified as a critical threat level. After the overthrow of Libya's dictator, warring gangs stole the remaining military equipment from the dictator. A summary of this movie begins with this. In Benghazi, Libya, the U.S. stationed a diplomatic compound. This compound sits less than a mile away from the CIA outpost called the Annex, which is home base for the Annex security team. This is the area shown on the screen. The Annex team shares the responsibility of protecting this U.S. diplomatic compound, which is 1 mile away from the Annex facility. Along with this, U.S. Senator Chris Stevens will be staying at this diplomatic compound rather than the Annex House compound. Senator Stevens was participating in a special mission which required him to stay longer than expected. After multiple days of little activity, U.S. Senator Chris Stevens addressed the people of Benghazi in a public address stating that America is there for them. On the morning of September 11, 2012, Senator Stevens noticed unfamiliar activity by the local people. Pictures were being taken by local people from multiple angles around the diplomatic compound. Just before dusk on September 11, 2012, riots began forming in the streets right outside the diplomatic compound. As the riots continued, shots were fired on the entrance door. The diplomatic compound is easily overrun by a local group of soldiers called the Ansar al-Shari. The on-site security team rushes Senator Stevens inside while the Annex team sits a mile away. As the Annex gets word, Chief and Commander of the Annex security team emphasizes to Roan, the team's leader, that he and his team must stand down. As the fight at the diplomatic compound continues, Senator Stevens is placed in a safe room where the militia cannot reach him. In the retaliation, locals douse the compound in diesel fuel to ignite the entire building. As this is happening, Roan declares that this is no longer a rescue mission. It is a suicide mission. You have to let us go. As the chief's orders, Roan and the rest of his Annex squad head out to assist the senator. The team is unsuccessful in recovering Senator Stevens from the compound. After multiple firefights, the team reassembles at the Annex house in anticipation of the looming fight against the local military group. While all this is happening, a drone from Derma, Libya is overwatching. The chief on command states that the gunship they requested is out of fueling range and cannot assist them. The Annex team is then stationed across different buildings across the property. The Annex team holds strong against the first wave of armed militia. As the battle continues, Roan is struck by a mortar round which kills him on impact. Along with Roan, 2 other members lost their lives during this fight, including Senator Stevens. As the underworld Annex team awaits the next wave, a collection of vehicles approach the front entrance of the Annex. Turns out, this collection of vehicles was part of the Libya Shield Militia, escorting more reinforcements to assist the Americans in the defense of the American compound. After returning home, all members of the Annex security team received contractor medals. This movie is a war film. It consists of long and gory fight scenes, relationships severed due to death, and the toll of being a soldier. This movie focuses on the relationship between Roan and Silva, a member of the Annex security team, as they were friends who have previously served together. As this movie progresses, we see this brotherhood type of relationship be severed due to Roan's death. This is where the war film aspect comes out, implementing a slight hint at what it's like to being a soldier. This relates to the aspects of conflict that we talked about in class. Formations of groups like these who intend to gain power as they force social cleavages such as attacking a U.S. senator, leading to conflicts similar as this. This gives a great look into realistic conflict. We see gruesome and brutality that people can bring on one another and how it can affect society. This town of Benghazi is shown to be an extremely hostile and dangerous town with armed militiamen in every corner. This film was based on a true story, but there is one consistent piece of information that is believed to be false. According to Time.com, there is no sufficient evidence that the chief in command never gave a stand-down order to Roan and his team. According to Time.com, there is no sufficient evidence that a stand-down order that would have stopped the American help from reaching the compound. The filmmakers did an excellent job at creating a true war movie. They had everything a great war movie has, but this does not come without some bias. According to Time magazine, this movie shows views of the Republican Party. According to Time magazine, the first release of this movie was in Dallas, Texas, a historically Republican state. The second, according to Time magazine, is the attack on Hillary Clinton, who is actually not named in this film. Time.com states, Hillary Clinton has accepted the responsibility for not arranging for better security in Libya. In this movie, both Senator Stevens and Roan suffer horrific deaths. This mishandling by Clinton was exploited in the film through failure to keep American lives alive. The connection between this is trying to persuade people in the direction of the Republican Party by trying to blame the Democratic Party for this incident.